Krishna. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are successfully studying Bhagavad Gita every day, and today we are going to study the third chapter. We already finished 12 slokas in the third chapter. As you all know, like Sunday morning India time, Saturday evening US time. So we are in the third chapter now. We study 4 slokas, and other 5 days, that is Monday through Friday evening US time. So that is Tuesday to Saturday morning India time. We are studying now in the 9th chapter. So 1 sloka. So here we are going to study 4 slokas. So in Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter, the title of the 3rd chapter is Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga. In the first and second slokas, Arjuna asked the question. At that time, Krishna is using the word Karma Yoga. So in the second chapter, Krishna has used the word Buddhi Yoga. So whatever Krishna referred to as Buddhi Yoga and referring to as Karma Yoga, they both are same. So there in the second chapter, Krishna said in the sloka number 39, Buddhi Yoge tu imam srunu buddhya yukta. Buddhya yukta means if you act with intelligence. So that's what is called Karma Yoga. When we are acting with intelligence means we are performing our activities. Karma means action. So when we are doing our actions, that means we are doing our activities, our duties, basically our duties. So if you use our intelligence, so then you can call that as Buddhi Yoga also. Of course, in Karma Yoga also we need to use intelligence. So what is that intelligence we need to use? The intelligence that the important point we are understanding from Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter we have understood that we don't have any right over the results of the activities. So we are not the cause for the results of activities, and we don't have any right over the results of the activities. So that intelligence we should have. So then we should use that intelligence that the results don't belong to us. So we should not be attached to the results, but Krishna belongs to us. So we should attach ourselves to Krishna. Results belong to Krishna, Krishna belongs to us. So that way, instead of just ourselves getting attached to the results, we should attach to Krishna. So then we will gain intelligence. So that's what is called Buddhi Yoga. So Buddhi, that is intelligence, we can get only when we are connected with Krishna. If we are not connected with Krishna, that means we don't have intelligence. We already in the second chapter studied, very nicely Krishna explained that how one loses the intelligence. So when we are not connected with Krishna means when we are not attached to Krishna, so then what is going to happen? We are going to be attached to material sense objects. So then we are going to lose intelligence. Because when we are attached to material sense objects means when we think about material sense objects, we already know that chain reaction. So the chain reaction happens. Because of that chain reaction, the end result of the chain reaction is the loss of intelligence. Buddhinaso. Buddhinaso means intelligence is lost. So when we think about sense objects, then we develop attachment for them. From such attachment, kama, strong desire develops. From that, krodha, that is anger. From anger, delusion. From delusion, memory is bewildered. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. So this concept, this scientific understanding, we are very, very clear. We are very clear from Bhagavad Gita. We very much understand very nicely that when we are attached to material sense objects, that means we are not going to have intelligence. So IQ level, what we call, that is not called intelligence. The real intelligence is actually to act in such a way that we can free ourselves from the bondage to this material world. That is what is called intelligent way of acting. A person, when we can say that a person has intelligence and is able to act with intelligence, only each and every activity should liberate us from this material world. Because when we are attached to the results, then we are not going to be liberated. We will be bound more to this material world. Because buddhinaso pranasyati. So it will lead to the destruction. That means we are going to be in this material world and we are going to suffer in this material world. So, but Arjuna asked the question to Krishna that you are asking me to fight. How you can say that is using intelligence? How you can say that there is an intelligent way of acting? Because fighting means I have to kill here. And you are asking me to kill my relatives. You are asking me to kill my grandfather Bhishma, my teacher Dronacharya, and my cousins, the sons of Dhritarashtra. You are asking me to kill them. So how is that intelligence? Tat kim karmani gore mam nyojayasi kesava. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhigi janardana. Tat kim karmani gore mam nyojayasi kesava. So at that time only Krishna is explaining that I have already explained to you that in the second chapter. I have already explained to you. So what did Krishna? Lokesmin dvivida nishta pura prokta mayanaga. Pura prokta. Pura prokta means I have explained to you fully. Pura prokta. O sinless Arjuna, mayanaga, O sinless one, I have already explained to you both clearly, fully. I have explained to you fully. Pura prokta, mayanaga. There is jnana yogena, sankyanam, karma yogena, yogina. So this karma yoga, that's what we are studying in the third chapter now. So karma yogena, yogina. So simply a person who is performing his acts without any attachment to the results. So he is known as a karma yogi. Anything we do, whatever we do. But if we are not attached to the results, then we are karma yogi. If we are attached to the results, then that means we are karmi. It is not karma yogi, we are karmi. So one who is attached to the fruitive activities is known as a karmi. But we have to be a karma yogi, not a karmi. That is possible only by studying this Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna is explaining very, very clearly how to perform our duties, how to do our every day when we are doing our activities every day. So how we should perform our activities. We should understand what is karma. We should understand what we should do, how we should do everything. So Krishna is very clearly explaining in Bhagavad Gita. So in all the chapters we are understanding this knowledge very, very well. So what Krishna explained to us very clearly, that no one is free in this material world. Everyone is forced to act by the three modes of material nature, because we are always under the control of the three modes of nature. So that very first time in the third chapter only, Krishna is explaining to us in the fifth sloka, very first time. So karyatege avakarma sarvaga prakriti jayet gunahi. So the material creation itself started with the modes of nature only. In the very beginning, this material world itself is created by the modes of nature. So we are put into this material world, and this material world itself is created by the modes of nature, and we are bound to this material body by the modes of nature, and here we are forced to act by the modes of nature. So it's very easy to understand, very easy to understand how the modes of nature are very strong and powerful, because our birth itself because of the three modes of material nature only. So Nibandhanandi, Mahabaho, Dege, Dehinam, Avyam. These three modes of material nature, Sattvam, Rajas, Tama, Itihi, Gunaga, Prakriti, Sambhavaga. So when we say Prakriti, Prakriti means these three modes of material nature. That's the main thing. Because when Arjuna asked the question in the 13th chapter, Krishna, what is Prakriti? Prakritim Purusham Chaiva. Kshetram Kshetrajnam Evacha. Yetat Veditum Ichchami. Jnanam Nyayam Cha Kesava. So at that time, Krishna explained about Prakriti means only from that time onwards. Arjuna asked this question in the 13th chapter. Then Krishna is, the entire 14th chapter, Krishna was just explaining about the three modes of material nature. Prakriti. So then from that time onwards, the entire rest of the Bhagavad Gita, starting from 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, all the things, everything is about the three modes of material nature. So if you remember, I mentioned in the past, the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are mainly talking about the soul, that is our self. So the main focus, the concentration is mainly towards the soul. Krishna is very clearly, very nicely, scientifically explaining about ourself, the soul. Then the next 6 chapters, from 7th to 12th chapter, the next six chapters are mainly about Krishna, the super soul. So first 6 chapters about the soul, next 6 chapters about the super soul, Krishna. So in the 13th chapter also, Krishna to a certain extent, when he talks about Prakriti, Purusha, he touches. But the main thing is that from the 13th chapter onwards, it is mainly about Prakriti only. So because Arjuna asks those questions like Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jnaya. So Krishna very quickly explains about what is Kshetra and Kshetrajna in few slokas. And then immediately Krishna explains Jnana and Jnaya. That also very quickly Krishna explains. But when he comes to, then Krishna explains Purusha, then at the end only Krishna is explaining the Prakriti. Because Arjuna asked the Prakriti as the first question. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetrajnam Evacha, Etat Veditum Ichchami, Jnanam Nyayam Cha Kesava. But in that, the next 5, the last 5 Krishna explained, and then only Krishna is explaining about the Prakriti, because then the rest of the entire Bhagavad Gita, the next 6 chapters, we are going to study only about the Prakriti. Especially the 14th chapter about the 3 modes of material nature. So, like that we are studying. And even in the 15th chapter, Krishna is explaining about how to ourselves get out of this Prakriti, out of this material nature. So about how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So when Krishna is explaining about the Prakriti, to a certain extent Krishna is explaining about himself also in the 15th chapter. Then 16th chapter again the divine and demoniac nature. So that is again based on the Prakriti. And then 17th chapter also about Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Karma, how they are all based on 3 modes of material nature. Like the food we eat, that is based on the 3 modes of material nature. Then the Yajna, the sacrifice we do, that's also based on that. Then Dana, the charity, then Tapa, the austerity, everything. So 3 slokas like that it goes. So Krishna is explaining completely about the Prakriti, the material modes of nature. Basically, it is the 3 modes of material nature. So Prakriti means the 3 modes of material nature. Even in the 18th chapter also, many slokas Krishna is explaining about that way, about the Prakriti. So what is the knowledge? Knowledge in the modes of nature. What is happiness in the modes of nature? Happiness in the three modes of material nature. And knowledge in the three modes of material nature. And also Krishna is explaining that Brahmana Kshatriya Visam Sudranam Cha Parantapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunehi. So that Swabhava, again the three modes of material nature. And based on the activities what we do, so pravibhaktani, karmani pravibhaktani. So they are all divided based on the karmas, based on the activities what we do, based on our duties. So there is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra, all such things. So there also Krishna is explaining a lot about these three modes of material nature. So what we understand in this entire Bhagavad Gita, we are not the body, we are the soul, but we are controlled by the three modes of material nature, and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by connecting ourselves with Krishna, by surrendering ourselves to Krishna, so we will be able to free ourselves from the three modes of material nature, from this Prakriti. Mamyeva ye prapatyante mayam yetam tarantite. Anyone surrenders unto me, he will be freed from Maya. Mamyeva ye prapatyante mayam yetam tarantite. So if we just surrender unto Krishna, we are freed from Maya. So that way, in Bhagavad Gita, we understand about Krishna and we are able to our love towards Krishna. Because with our faith on Krishna, we understand very clearly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So simply by focusing our mind on Krishna, by fixing our mind on Krishna. So, because in the real world, we are going to lose everything, as I said yesterday, many classes in the past I have mentioned, that everything ultimately we are going to lose, but only we are not going to lose Krishna only. So, that's why whatever progress we make towards Krishna, that we are not going to lose. So, before the time runs out, before our life ends, so we need to make as much progress as possible towards Krishna. So, that is the opportunity what we have got. So we are able to study this Bhagavad Gita, and once we follow this Bhagavad Gita fully, and once we understand this Bhagavad Gita fully, and once we team up and group together and work for Krishna and spread Krishna's message and make as many devotees as possible. So once we are able to do all these things in a very revolutionary way for Krishna, so then we will be always connected with Krishna. At that time we will be able to make tremendous progress towards Krishna. It's all going to stay with us. It's all going to stay with us. If we make many devotees, so that's going to stay with us. That service to Krishna. So that's all going to take us to Krishna. There is no doubt about it. So that's why in this Bhagavad Gita, knowledge is very important for us. We need to study and understand all the chapters, all these slokas, and constantly we need to study. So now in the third chapter, then in the last week what we studied, Krishna mentioned Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam, that we studied a week before that. So one should perform the prescribed duties. So Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. And then in the 9th sloka onwards we studied in the last week. Krishna said that Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandha. So any work which is not done as an offering, which is not performed as an offering unto Krishna, anyatra. Any work which is not done as yajna, yajñārtāt karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana, that is going to bind us to this material world, lokoyam karma bandhana. So we want to liberate ourselves from the bondage to work in this material world. We want to liberate ourselves from the bondage to birth in this material world. So that means we should not be doing any activity which is going to bind us more in this material world. So that means every activity should be done only as an offering unto Krishna. Whatever you do, it should be done as an offering unto Krishna. So if we are not connected ourselves with Krishna, if we don't have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we don't do our activities, everything as an offering unto Krishna, so that means we are going to again bound more and more into this material world. Our bondage to work is going to increase more and more. That's what happens. Even in this life itself, we can experience. When a person grows in his career, we will notice that that person is loaded with more work only. When we get promoted, that means there is more work. That means more bondage. So when we are working more and more, then we are bound more and more, then our responsibility is getting increased more and more, and then our stress levels are also increasing more and more, and we are not able to lead a happy and blissful life. But if the same thing we do it for Krishna, then that's totally a different story. We can become very busy. There is no need to worry about it. But if you are doing it for Krishna, because here the motivation is coming, that the inspiration we get from serving Krishna, we are pleasing Krishna. So that's why we are working. That's why we are doing everything. So if that's what our objective is with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then there is no problem. So anything we do in this world, anything we do, it should be only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. It should be only as an offering unto Krishna, only as an yajna we have to do. So that's what we studied in the last week. Yajnatat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangaga samachara. So that way you perform your activities so that it leads to liberation from this bondage. So that way there are two effects when we are doing an activity, any activity. When we are doing any activity, any action, when we do an action, it has got two reactions, two effects. One is either it is binding us to this material world, or it will be liberating us from this material world. These are the two actions, two results. So it binds us to this material world when we are attached to the results of those activities. And it liberates us from this material world when we are attached to Krishna. When we are not attached to the results, we are attached to Krishna. And if we are doing that activity for Krishna. When we are attached to Krishna, we will be doing that activity for Krishna. So that's what is yajna. Yajnarthat karmano. Anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So that way, Sakayajnaga prajaga srishtva purovacha prajapatiki anena prasavisyadvam yesavostu ishtakamaduke. So that's what we study. So this Prajapati, the Lord of creature, so he created both yajnas selves, so and the souls. Sakayajnaga prajaga. So that way, the yajnas are already created along with us. We just have to follow those yajnas. And out of all the yajnas, if you remember, I quoted from the 10th chapter, Krishna is saying that yajnanam japa yajnosmi. Of all the yajnas, I am the japa yajna. So japa yajna is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just chanting Krishna's name. So that's what japa yajna. So that's what is going to help us to control our mind. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. So by fixing our mind on that transcendental sound vibration, so by bringing our mind from wherever it goes due to its unsteady and flickering nature, we should bring it back, we should withdraw it and bring it back, and under the control of the self. That means again and again we need to fix our mind on transcendental sound vibration. So that is the practice we need to do to control our mind. So it's a very powerful, and that is the only way to control our mind. The only way to control our mind is by focusing on Krishna. Manasamyamya marchitho. That is the only way. You control your mind. Manasamyamya. Samyamya means control. You control your mind by thinking about me. Manasamyamya marchitho. So only by remembering Krishna, only by thinking about Krishna, only we can control our mind. So then we studied about Devan Bhavayatanena, Te Deva Bhavayantuvaga, Parasparam Bhavayantaga, Sreyaga Paramabhapsyata. So the Prajapati told that you offer everything to Devas, demigods, they in turn offer back to you, all such things. But Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Devan Dasyante Yajna Bhavitaga. So those Devas, those demigods will, being satisfied with the offerings, they will give whatever we need. But Tedatan apradayabhyo yobumte stena yevasa. But one who is not giving back, so he is simply a stealer. He is simply a thief. That's what he is stealing, he is thief. So yobumte stena yevasa. Stena. So he is a thief. So now we are studying in the next sloka, starting from today, in the sloka number 13. So in the third chapter, in the sloka 13th sloka, Krishna is continuing that यज्ञसिस्तासिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः ये तद यज्ञसिस्तासिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते तु अगं पापः ये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्. So, Yajnasista means after offering to Krishna, whatever we eat, after we offer that to Krishna, Yajnasista, Asinaga means those who take, those who honor the food, prasadam, those who take the food. So that Santa means the devotees. So the devotees who take the food which is first offered to Krishna, they are freed from all sins. Muchyante sarva kilbisi. So this is another way for us to free ourselves from all the sins. Because when we are eating our food, there also we are committing sins when we are eating. So that way, if we offer to Krishna, then we are not going to get any sins. So that's why Bunjate te tu agam papa. So those sinners who prepare, they are prepared food only for their satisfaction, only for sense gratification. So they are eating only sins. Bunjate te tu agam papa. Agam means sins. So they are eating only, bunjate means eating. They are eating only sins. Ye pachanti atma karanat. Ye pachanti means those who prepare. Those who prepare food only for their sense gratification. They are eating only sins. That's what Krishna is teaching us. They are verily eating only sins. Bunjate te tu agam papa ye pachanti atma karanat. So just by offering food to Krishna all the time, every time. So that's why in the 9th chapter, in one sloka, Krishna says that Yat karosi yad dasnasi yad jugosi tadasyat yat tapasasi kaunteya tat kurusva madarpanam. So whatever you eat, you offer unto me. Madarpanam. So that's what madarpanam means, you offer unto me. Whatever you eat, you offer unto me. So then we are not going to get any sins. So in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaga yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajnaga karma samudbhavaga. Annat bhavanti bhutani. So the living entities, bhutani means the living entities. So annat bhavanti. So they are surviving with food. So by food only, all bodies, they are, so for the body we need food. That's why bhutani means here body also. So for the body we need food to get energy. You know, carbohydrates that gives energy to the body. So that's why we need to eat food. If you don't eat food, if you don't get those carbohydrates, then that means if you don't have energy, we cannot do anything. So annat bhavanti bhutani. But how we are getting those foods? How we are getting those food grains? Parjanyad anna sambhavaga. So by rains. With rains only food is produced. If there is no rains, then if it is drought, then there is nothing, no food. So no supply of food. So rain is very much important. So that's why Parjanyad anna sambhavaga. So the food is produced from rain. But Parjanya yajnat bhavanti parjanyo. Yajnat bhavati parjanyo. So that those rain is produced from yajna, from sacrifice. So that's what the rain is produced from yajna. Yajnat bhavati parjanyo. Yajnaha karma samudbhavaga. Whereas this yajna means the performance, the sacrifice. So karma means an action. So one has to act to perform yajna. That means the prajas means the population, the people in this world, prajas, they have to use their karmendriyas and they have to act and perform the yajnas so that we will get enough rain. So that's why yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajnaga karma samudbhava. And this is next Krishna in the next sloka, in the 15th sloka. Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. So karma is Brahmodbhavam Viddhi from Vedas. But for us, we don't have to study Vedas to understand what we need to do. For us, if we study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedas. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of everything. Here Krishna himself is teaching us what is karma. Tate karma pravakshami. Kim karma kim makarmeti kavayopi atra mohitaga. Tate karma pravakshami yajnatva mokshase asubha. So even the intelligent persons are confused about what is karma and what is akarma, what is an action, what is inaction. So I shall explain to you what action is. Tate karma pravakshami yajnatva mokshase asubha. So for us, this Bhagavad Gita is the Brahman. So karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. We just follow Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to do our karma. If you understand Bhagavad Gita, if you follow Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to do our karma. Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. Brahma akshara samudbhavam. So that is coming from akshara. So in the 8th chapter we studied aksharam brahma paramam swabhavo dhyatmam uchyate. So this Brahma, the word Brahman, it has got different meanings. So in this case, we are studying it as Vedas, and also the Param Brahman is Krishna is the Brahman, and Krishna's abode is known as Brahman. So when we go there, we are known as Brahma Bhuta. When we elevate ourselves to Brahma Bhuta, so Brahmanohi Pratishtagam. Then Krishna also is saying that Mahat Brahma, Mama Yonihi Mahat Brahma. So that is the source of everything. Everything is coming from Brahman. So that's why Brahmarpanam, Brahmakaviki, Brahmagnav, Brahmanakudam, Brahmaivitena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So that way, this Brahma, Aksharam, this syllable Om and this Vedas, they are all one and the same. They are all very much connected. So that's why in this context, in this sloka, here, Brahma is Karma Brahmodbhavam Viddhi. Here Brahma is, you are talking about Vedas also, but in the same thing, karma also, kim tad brahma, kim madhyatma, kim karma purushottama, adibhutam cha kim proktam, adidaivam kim uchyate. So there also Arjuna asked the question in the 8th chapter, 1st sloka. There, aksharam brahma paramam swabhavo dhyatmam uchyate, bhuta bhavodbhava karo visargaga karma samjitaga. So aksharam brahma paramam swabhavo. So the soul is a Brahman, and its Swabhava is the Aksharam Brahman Param, Swabhava is the Adhyatma, and then Bhuta Bhava Utbhava. So when the body is produced, when this material world is produced, when this body is produced, so karma is there. So that way, that also is karma. But here, when we understand this Bhagavad Gita, when we know what is karma, when we know what is right, what is wrong, when we do our duty, so that is what is this karma. So then, karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahma akshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratisthidam. This sarvagatam brahma is Krishna. So he is the param brahma. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma. So Krishna is pervading everywhere, who is everywhere. So he is always, he is the yajna purusha. So Bhoktaram yajna tapasa. Krishna is there, said in the 5th chapter, last sloka, in the 28th sloka, we studied that Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa. So Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So that's why Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishthitam. So always situated in the Yajna, always. So that's why we need to do all our activities as Yajna. So all these things Krishna is now explaining about Yajna, because in the 9th sloka, in the 3rd chapter, we studied it. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandha. The simple understanding meaning is very clear, that everything should be done as an offering unto Krishna. That's it. So if everything is done as an offering unto Krishna, then everything rest is taken care of very nicely. If we are not doing that, then if we are attached to the results, if you don't offer to Krishna, so that means we are thieves and we are misers. In the 2nd chapter also, we studied in one sloka, Krishna said that Kripanaha Palahetava. So those who seek the results are misers. Kripanaha Palahetava. So that way, Krishna is saying that this yajna, all the works, everything should be performed as an offering unto Krishna. We are going to study in the 4th chapter at length about yajna, different types of yajnas Krishna is going to teach us. There are different types of yajnas we are going to study in the 4th chapter. Now in the last sloka, what we are going to study today, that is the 16th sloka in the 3rd chapter. Krishna is saying that Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayatiga yaka agayuhu indriyaramo moham partha sajivati. So evam pravartitam chakram. So this is the chakram. So this is the cycle. So this cycle, we started the cycle, correct? It started from annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaga. Yajnat bhavati parjanya. That yajna is there. Yajna is there in the cycle. So yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajnaga karma samudbhavaga karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahma aksharam samudbhavaga tasmat sarva katam brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. So again that yajna it comes. So it's basically a cycle. So this cycle evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayatiga yaha. So those who doesn't follow. So those who don't follow this cycle of this yajna, that means offering unto Krishna. So their life is full of sins. Agayu. Agayu means their life is full of sins. Indriyaramo. Those who are satisfied with sense gratification. Indriyaramo. Those who are going after material sense gratification. So their life will be full of sins. Agayu indriyaramo moham partha sajivati. Sajivati means he lives. He lives only under this moham. So in vain, useless life. This life itself is very useless. So moham, under bewilder, so moham under illusion. So moham partha sajivati. So that kind of life is total waste. It's nonsense, useless life basically. Even if a person lives for 100 years, that kind of life, still it is of no use. So that's why moham partha sajivati. So we need to follow this cycle. So that means for us, when we do everything for Krishna, that's why we have to focus on spreading this Krishna's message. This is a very important thing. We have to make as many devotees as possible. So that way we will be fully connected with Krishna. We will be following this cycle completely. So that is the only service we can do for Krishna. Very easy service. We don't have to spend any money. We don't have to, because just we need to spend our time only. That is the time well spent. So by Krishna's countless mercy, we have successfully finished 4 slokas today, the 13th sloka to 16th sloka in the 3rd chapter. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I will unmute some regular devotees. Meanwhile, if there are any questions, you can type in the chat window. I will ask that to Guruji as well. I will unmute R.K. Goyal.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I have got no questions. Thank you. It's very nicely explained everything. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Guruji. I'll unmute Aparna Kalyani. Aparna Kalyani.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, we should not come into this material life and all. But, excuse me, it is like as a mother, for example, as a mother, when your child doesn't study, again we get krodha and all. So how to get out of it?
Yes, Mataji, it's a very practical question. So sometimes, just to condition the child, you can act like getting krodha, but really you should not get krodha. But that is not good because we should not go out of control. That is not good. But still, as a mother, actually, giving Krishna's consciousness to the child is very, very important in all these things. Because it is very easy for a mother to actually give Krishna consciousness to the child. In a family, mother has got a lot of influence to the child in bringing the characteristics. So that way, if you are able to make the child as a very nice Krishna conscious person, so that means Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that I am seated in everyone's heart and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. Sarvasya chaham hriti sannivishti mattaga smritir jnanam apohanam. So that way, if we are Krishna conscious, then Krishna is not going to make us dumbheads. Krishna is going to give us all the intelligence what we need, all the knowledge what we need. So then the child will be very nicely studying for Krishna. So that way you don't have to get krodha, no need to get anger, all those things. So that is a very important thing as a parent, especially as a mother. Giving this Krishna consciousness to the child is very, very important. So then everything will be okay. You understand that, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, yes, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. We have a question from Vaishnava Devi. She asked, Hare Krishna, Guruji, what are the teachings of Bhagavatam about?
Bhagavatam is the teachings about the Krishna's devotees. Bhagavat means the devotees of Krishna. But there Krishna is glorified. Krishna's pastimes. So how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we study Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, so we are going to develop so much of love towards Krishna. Because in Bhagavad Gita, we are knowing about ourselves, about the three modes of material nature, about Krishna also. We know a lot about Krishna also. We understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But listening to Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam is going to further increase our love towards Krishna. So there is simply a source of unlimited source of love to Krishna. We are going to get Srimad Bhagavatam. It is all about Krishna's pastimes, the devotees, how Krishna's pastimes with his devotees. So from the devotees will be glorifying Krishna. So we are going to get more. So it has got 12 cantos and it's 18,000 verses, all such things in Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. We have another question. This is from Meera Madhubushi. She asked, Hare Krishna, Guruji, can you throw some light why this material world is created?
This material world is compared to a jail, basically. So if you understand why in a city a jail is created, first of all. So no government wants to create the jail. So, but still the government, the city, no city wants to have the jail, but still they are making the jail. The reason is that some of the residents, they are not following the rules. So when they are not following the rules, then they are not fit to live free in the city because they will create problems. So that's why they are put in the jail. And we call the jail also as the correction center, correct? The correction center, correction place. So we are supposed to get corrected there. So like that, this material world is like a jail for us. And Maya, the three modes of material nature, Maya is a jailer. So the duty of Maya is only to correct us so that we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We give up the ahankara. So we have to correct ourselves means we need to give up ahankara. So that means we are not the doer. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are not doing anything and we don't want anything other than Krishna. So that way, if we get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we correct ourselves, then the jailer will free the prisoner, correct? So like that here we will be freed from this material bondage. So that's why this material world is there. So we have to first of all get qualified to go to Krishna's world. So that means we have to elevate ourselves to the Brahma Bhuta platform. So then only we can go to Krishna's world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. I will unmute Ashwin Kumar Chibbar. Ashwin, you can talk with Guruji.
Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
What kind of foods, whatever you take, to be offered to Krishna? All kinds of food?
Yes, Prabhu. Krishna is saying that whatever you eat, you offer to me. But that doesn't mean that we can offer meat and all to Krishna. So in the 17th chapter when we study, Krishna is saying that there are three types of foods based upon the modes of nature. So Ayuga, Sattva, Bala, Arogyam, Sukha, Priti, Vivartanaga, Rasyaga, Sinigdaga, Stiraga, Aharaga, Satvika, Priyaga. So the food that is, which increases the duration of life, Ayuga. Sattvam, it makes our life, purifies our life. Ayuga Sattvam. Bala, it gives the strength, gives the health. And Ayugu Sattva Bala Arogyam Sukham, it gives the happiness. So that's why we need to take that kind of foods, so which are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. So the food which is pleasing to the heart. So Ayugu Sattva Bala Arogyam Sukha Priti Vivardhanaga Rasyaga Sinigdaga Stiraga Aharaga Satvika Priyaga. So in the 17th chapter, in the 8th, 9th sloka, Krishna is saying about it. So in the 7th sloka. So that's what in the 7th, 8th sloka, Krishna is saying that. So then Hridayaga means pleasing to the heart. Aharaga, there is Rasyaga, Sinigdaga, Stiraga, Stira, Hridayaga. So Hridayaga, so it is Hridayaga, Aharaga. So whereas the food which is too bitter, salt, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Katvamila lavanati ushna, tikshna ruksha vidahinaha, aharaga, rajasasyeshtaga, dukkha sokamaya pradaha. There is dukkha, it brings us distress and misery and disease. So foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. So definitely we should offer food in the mode of goodness. Then yatayamam gatarasam puti pariyusitam chayat uttistamapi chamedyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. So there is food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Yatayamam gatarasam, which juice is already gone, which is tasteless, and puti pariyusitam chayat, which is decomposed and putrid, and uchistam api chamedyam, so which is remnants of others untouchable. So those kind of food in the mode of ignorance. So we have to definitely offer food in the mode of goodness to Krishna, so which is pleasing to the heart. You understand that, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Guruji, thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. I see a name Redmi. I think it's Tripura. I'll unmute you, Tripura. You can talk with Guruji. The name Redmi, I'm unmuting you. You can talk with Guruji. All right. I will unmute Hina. Hina, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, today I joined little late. I will go through your YouTube link.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
explanation is very nice, Guruji. Even the devotees who ask so many good questions, you explain it so nicely that we get lot of knowledge apart from the shlokas also. Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. I'll try to unmute Redmi again. Redmi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Actually, sir, you said that means no materialistic. That means no desire at all. No.
अच्छा मौसम हो गया.
1 minute. I'll ask. You
I think there is some disturbance, Guruji. I'll unmute them again after some time. Annie Pepper, I'm unmuting you. You can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I just want to make sure I understood the point of what we were talking about with Krishna teaching about the Vedas and the sacrifices. Was I correct in understanding that, well, first I know the Vedas teach about the required religious sacrifices to meet one's religious duties. But was Krishna was saying to Arjuna that, and to us, obviously, that if we are devoted to him and dedicate our actions and leave the fruit of our actions to him, that
Mhm.
that fulfills those religious obligations, rather than doing the ritual sacrifices? Do we just need to devote ourselves to him and focus on him instead?
That is exactly, that's what we should do. That's what we should do. In fact, Krishna is already explaining that very, very clearly in the second chapter. Yami mam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaga vedavadarataga partha nanyadasti divadinaga kamatmanaga swargaparaga janma karma palapradam kriya visesa bahulam Bhogaisvarya Gatim Prati. That's what Krishna is saying. So that is while getting attracted to the flowery language of the Vedas, Pushpitam Vacham means flowery language of the Vedas. So they say that that's everything. There is nothing else. Vedavada Rathaga Pata Na Anyat Asti iti Vajana. They say that there is nothing other than just following all those rituals and Kamatmana Surga Paraga Janma Karma Pala Pradam. So keeping the going to heavenly planets and enjoying. So that's what is the goal of life, like that they will say. But Krishna is saying that Traigunya Visaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavo Arjuna. You give up. So Vedas deals with the three modes of material nature, but you yourself come out of the three modes of material nature. So because Veda is sarvaika aham eva vedo, that is the main thing. So we need to know about Krishna. That is the purpose of Vedas. So that way, what you said is exactly right. We don't, for us, first of all, this question itself doesn't arise because we don't have any time to go through, find out what is said in Veda and doing all those things. We definitely have no time in this very short human life. It is impossible for us to do that. So, and Bhagavad Gita is the everything. And Krishna very clearly says that Yajñatva neka bhuyo anyati jnatavyam avasisade. Just by knowing this Bhagavad Gita, knowing this knowledge, there is nothing else there for you to know. Bhuya eva mahabhago sunume paramam vachaga. So then parambhuyaga pravakshyami jnananam jnanam uttamam yajñatva munayaga sarve param siddhim ito gataha. So parambhuyaga pravakshyami, I am explaining to you again, jnananam jnanam uttamam, the knowledge, the ultimate knowledge, the topmost knowledge, jnananam jnanam uttamam yajñatva munayaga sarve. By knowing this, many sages in the past have achieved param siddhim. They have achieved the supreme destination, param siddhim ito gataha. So they have come to me. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So we just have to follow Bhagavad Gita. So what Krishna is saying at the end, sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam saranam brajya. You just surrender only unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. That's what Krishna is saying. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evesasi. So always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances unto me, you will come to me. That's what Krishna is saying. So simply by giving this knowledge to others, you are going to come to me. Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakte swavidasati bhaktim mayi param kritva mam evasasi asamsaya. So you will come to me, there is no doubt about it. So for us, we just have to follow what Krishna says. So that's what we need to do. So what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that's everything for us. Hare Krishna. You understand that, Madhavi?
Thank you.